This is Julie Hogue with the Vegetarians and Meat Lovers Split Table Recipes podcast. And I'm here with a hybrid recipe. What is that? It's a term I coined because my family is composed of a vegetarian, myself, and meat eaters. So we're a split table. We're not all eating the same thing. I want meatless. They want meats, the rest of my family. So I coined this term hybrid to talk about recipes that can feed both types of diets. And it's just kind of the way I've cooked my entire life because I've been a vegetarian since about the 8th grade. I ate a little tiny bit of meat, like a little bit of fish after that, and occasionally, when I was actually pregnant, I had a little bit of chicken. One of the 3 pregnancies, I actually did crave a little bit of meat. And that was it, though. So this has become a way of life for me. I've created the cookbook, and I have some recipes on my website, Julie Hogue Writer, and I do this podcast. And I like to talk about different kinds of food because, just because I don't eat meat, everybody eats, right? So recipes are so easy to actually modify. And, before I forget, thank you to someone who keeps buying me copies and supporting my podcast. You're so wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so very, very much. You're a wonderful person, and thank you for being so generous. Okay. Now, as I was saying, this recipe is one that I found online, and I took it and I modified it. I changed quite a bit of it. And I did that so that I could make it work for me as a vegetarian and the rest of my family. And I made it a little bit bigger also because with 4 big meat eaters, it just wasn't enough. So this is Mediterranean bowls, and the meat portion that gets added in is grilled flank steak. And then what's wonderful about bowls, it's a perfect dish for a split table because when you do this recipe, it's like you get to build your own bowl, right? You get to put in what you want. And I just love all the combinations in here. Again, I did change a little bit and I added some things, but it's basically a Mediterranean bowl. And it took maybe a half hour of chopping and 45 minutes to make. But you also have to, my husband was cooking the steak on the grill. So I was doing other things while he was doing that part. So it's just a really good recipe. It's really fun. And it really was a giant hit at our house. I'm really getting into the bowls lately because it works so well with the split table because you can build it yourself. Any kind of meal where you can build it yourself and it's not like the meat is in it like a hot dish. It's so easy to modify it to meatless or containing meat. It's just beautiful. This was really, really good. And I just loved it. I did not have meat in mine, obviously, and it was so delicious. I really love this recipe. So I'll go through the ingredients and then I'll talk about how you make it. And you're going to take flank steak. Now, we have really never grilled a flank steak. It was very different. And my husband took care of that part, but it was something he hadn't grilled before either. So it was quite an interesting thing. So 2.4 pounds of flank steak, 9 teaspoons of garlic. You can do 3 cloves minced, or I often buy the pre-minced stuff in the jars. And of course it would be 3 teaspoons. You want 3 teaspoons of ground cumin. Cumin. I don't know how you say that. I guess I should have looked that up, but no one cares, right? It's cumin. 1 cup of cherry tomatoes, which for us, actually, I did more than that. I did 1 container and some extras because I had some on the garden. So you those little containers of, did I say that right? I got to go back and check that. 3 teaspoons of ground cumin. I don't know if I went with the original. So 3 teaspoons and 1 container of the cherry tomatoes cut in half. And I had some extras because I had some from the garden. So maybe a container and a quarter, those little containers, those plastic ones. And then 1 small onion, thinly sliced. and 1 cup of crumbled feta cheese, 2 lemons, like the juice from 2 lemons plus 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And then you're going to, I can never say this. My kids make fun of me. Tzatziki. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm going to spell it. It's Tzatziki sauce. And I bought it prepared. I actually found a yogurt prepared dip, and we used that. And you can do whatever you want, but I added about a half a cup of whole milk to it to thin it out because I wanted it to be more of like a sauce than thick yogurt, right? So that's how I thinned it out, and then it became more of a sauce that could be poured over. 1 red pepper chopped, 6 tablespoons olive oil, 3 teaspoons of dried oregano, salt and pepper to taste, 1 cucumber diced. I did the entire cucumber, 3/4 cup chopped fresh parsley. And I did the full package of, oh my gosh, this is a terrible episode. I cannot ever say this, quinoa. You guys are going to be laughing at me. I can't say all these things. My kids always correct me, and for some reason I have a hard time saying it, but it's Quinoa. So I did the full package. I didn't do a small amount because I knew there were going to be potentially 5 to 6 of us eating it. So I wanted to have enough. So I did a full package of that. And then a full container of hummus. I also put out a container or a full bag of wild rice. So I did both because I wanted to have enough. And then we wanted some in case we needed some leftovers. And 1 log of fresh mozzarella cheese, like the big one where it's like pre-sliced. And then I marinated that, right? So I did 1/2 cup olive oil. And then the herbs, I did fresh basil, fresh oregano, parsley. And I didn't really measure those out because I have them growing on my deck. And I just picked a bunch. So, and there really is no big deal. There's like no rules on that one. Whatever you want to put in. And then I did do 1/2 teaspoon of Lowry seasoned salt with that. And I stirred it all up. And then I put the cheese in there to marinate. And then I also had some chopped fresh jalapeno. And so basically you're going to be taking all of these ingredients, and they're really all so good together. And you're putting them all in a bowl. Like we have these kind of like flat bowls that are kind of like almost like plates, but they're bowls. I don't know if you've ever seen anything such a thing. And they work great for this kind because you can pile all the things in there and then you can kind of like get them all together. And they're like with the sides on the bowl, you can like scoop it easily, right? Like it's just super easy. So how do you do this? Instructions. In a small bowl, combine 1 tablespoon olive oil, minced garlic, the oregano, and the cumin, salt, and pepper to taste for a marinade for the flank steak. And we marinated that for several hours. And I think we did we've done it 2 hours one time, 3 hours another. Again, I don't think you can really go wrong with marinating. You just want it to be long enough, right? Like it's never too long to marinate something, right? That's kind of like silly. And it's only going to just be better. So you're going to do that. And you're going to let it marinate for quite a while. So we had that sitting in the fridge while, long before I even started working on chopping up all the other stuff. And you're going to either, spread it on there, rub it in there if you want to touch the meat. If you don't want to touch the meat like me, you just spread it on with like a spoon or something. And then you just let it sit. And then you're supposed to let it sit about 15 minutes at room temp before you're going to grill it. We did do that. And I think it does make a difference. I don't know. I don't eat the meat, so my husband says it does. I'll take his word for it. And then you're going to do your grilling over medium-high heat. And then as you're grilling, if you have any like of the marinade left, you can drizzle it on there as you're grilling it. And one thing I really like about this too is the bowl looks really like pretty. I don't know. It looks nice. You could use red onions too if you want more color. Okay. And then, of course, you're going to cook it to desired doneness. Both sides. Remove the steak from the heat. And then you're going to let it rest for a little bit. I think my husband let it rest usually 5-10 minutes. and then cut it into thin like strips or slices. In a bowl, you're going to take the cherry tomatoes that are cut in half, the chopped up cucumber, the onion, whether you use any kind of onion, whatever onion you use, parsley, and feta cheese. And you're going to drizzle with lemon juice and season with salt and pepper. And then you're going to stir to coat that. That was really good. It was like a little salad. And it is like, I don't know, it's just really flavorful. It's really good. And then when you're going to combine all the ingredients to make your bowls. And of course, you're going to start with your base at the bottom, whatever you're going to want to do, the rice or a quinoa. That's how you say it, right? I can't ask anybody because I'm alone right now. My kids make fun of me because I say it wrong every time. It looks like quinoa, right? Like quinoa, and then I sound like an idiot because I'm not saying it right. Quinoa. I'm pretty sure it's quinoa, right? I'm a big goof. And so then you're going to arrange all of this in your bowl. Steak, if you want steak, like my family puts like steak in one corner, and then you're going to put all your other things like the tomato and cucumber salad in one spot, the hummus in another, and you can put this, tzatziki sauce all over everything if you desire. And then you can garnish with more parsley if you want, more crumbled cheese if you want. And you know what? Your bowl is ready. It's such a good combo. I have to say it's really, really delicious. I want to make it again. We are doing a different bowl tonight, though. We are doing a chicken burrito bowl tonight. So I'll have to tell you how that goes. And it's going to be really interesting. Maybe I'll have to share that one if it's good. I really like the bowls because it's so versatile, right? And then we had a little bit left over, and so someone had an extra meal, right? We love leftovers at our house. I am such an advocate for giving your kids leftovers so they realize that this is normal. Like, some families that are close to me, in my family, they don't like leftovers. And they're teaching their kids this. I'm like, okay, you're wasting money. You're wasting food. Just do it. And I love leftovers because they're just so easy, ready, good, so fast, especially on work days. It's just so nice. So I don't know what's up with these people. The other suggestion that I have is if you want it to be a little bit spicier, you can do some red pepper flakes. I can't talk. Or more jalapeno. And the reason I tossed in the jalapeno this summer when I've made this recipe is because I had jalapenos in my garden and I wanted to use them. It's a healthy recipe and it's easy and it's good leftover. And everybody loved the steak, those who like meat. They loved it. I really liked the addition of the hummus too. I thought that was a really interesting thing to add into the bowl. So it was really, really a fun little thing. And it's just, I don't know. It's a fun meal to make. And it's different because I guess we haven't done a lot of bowls. I feel like when I was younger, there weren't many recipes of bowls out there, but like with like Chipotle and stuff, Chipotle bowls, they're just more common, I think, than when I was a younger person. I love them. I think they're fantastic. They're just great. So we're going to do this chicken burrito bowls this evening. So I'll have to let you know how that goes. I'm excited to try it. We have the chicken marinating at this very moment. And the marinade is interesting. It's 2 packets of mild taco seasoning and the juice of 2 limes and 1/2 cup olive oil. And so I mixed up olive oil, the lemon juice, and the taco packets. And I stirred that all up, and then we just kind of smeared it all over the chicken. And this recipe is a recipe I found online as well. So far, we're following it pretty closely. We'll see if I end up changing it or not. But we are extending the marination time, so we'll have to see if that turns out good. I won't know about the chicken, but I'll know about the rest of it. We're having a great fall. I don't know if you're having a great fall, but we're having a really fun one. Our son, our youngest, is doing marching band, and he's doing soccer, and he's doing robotics. And so we've got to see him do the marching band. It was so cool. If you ever get the chance, it's super fun. They went to the U of M last weekend, the weekend before, the 6th, I think. And they got to do marching band with the U of M marching band during a Gophers game, a football game. It was so cool. And they had, oh my gosh, I think it was like over 1,000 kids on the field. So kids from all different area high schools got to go and play with the U of M marching band. And then they had all the cheerleaders come too. So they were on the edge. And it was an amazing thing to watch. The Gophers literally killed the other team. I mean, like it was, I don't remember what the final score was, but it was just almost like painful. It was like 56-0 or something crazy like that. They obliterated them. Oh, we felt bad for them. But then we had a storm and we were supposed to go down and be able to take pictures of them on the field. They were going to do some more concert or more songs. And then a storm hit, so we couldn't do that part. But it was really fun. It was a great experience. And then we're getting kind of weathered out here. We were supposed to have a game. He was supposed to do marching band at a game last night. And they can't ever do marching band during rain. And I'm assuming it's because they don't want to get those uniforms wet, right? Because they're really nice uniforms. So unfortunately, that didn't happen either. So we were still waiting to see him actually march on the field during halftime. Because when they were at the U of M, they couldn't really do much marching with that many people. So they kind of just played. The U of M marching band, they did marching. They did this really cool thing. They made themselves the shape of an M. I can't talk. They made themselves the shape of an M. And then they rotated the M around the field. Like, that was really cool. They were really amazing. And the other cool thing is I have to put a plug in for my middle son. He's doing the Pine Haven, what is it? Dead End Hayride? I don't remember if that's the name of it, but it's at Pine Haven. He's one of the characters there. And he made his costume and have to get it approved. And he did an amazing job, but he's always been very artsy and craftsy. So he made his entire costume and he has this like gas mask kind of thing. And then he made like bubbly weird things coming out. He used like all this stuff. I don't even know what he used. Like, I don't even know how he did it, but he had to use balloons. He's so creative. He's so creative. And of course I'm talking about this because they approved his costume and he's able to wear it. That's one of the characters at Pine Haven. So this is one of the super fun Halloween fall things around that you can go through the haunted house. And this one's like spread out across the entire farm. And so there's a hayride portion and then there's a walking portion. And there's really spooky things. Like there's a jail, there's like a little town, all these different things. And there's a military section. I think he's in the military section right now where there's like aliens, like, animatronic aliens. They really do a good job. So if you're looking for somewhere fun to go, I'm giving that the plug because my son is working there this year and he worked there last year too. And he has so much fun. He usually ends up being hoarse because he's doing like so many like of the scary sounds and stuff. So check that out if you happen to be in Minnesota. I'm sure wherever you are, maybe they have such a similar thing, but if you're into like this spooky stuff and the Halloween stuff, it's a really fun thing to do. We have a blast. And we went last year and we were wondering, we weren't exactly sure because we hadn't been there, or my husband had been there several years ago with my son who works there now and his friend. And so he kind of remembered the layout of the place, but I had never been there. So we kept wondering, where are we going to see him? Are we going to recognize him? And he ended up seeing us. And so then, he did his character thing and then we realized it was him and that was super fun. So we're hoping we're going to be able to, we know exactly what he looks like this year because they really go all out. They do all the makeup. They do everything. This is a really great company. If you want to support a local company, they're great to their employees. I really have to tell you, I have to put a big giant plug for that. And they just really are so good to their employees. They're just great. They do all these extras. So I love supporting local. I really do. I'm a local author and I go to book fairs and stuff like that. So I'm all about supporting people who are local. Well, thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoy this recipe. And I just think bowls are a great way to go because think how versatile they are. You can add, say you have some leftover or something, whatever it might be, toss it in there. You got some leftover, I don't know, pineapple or some fruits or I don't know, just like all kinds of weird things you could put in there. Mushrooms would be a great addition in this one. I actually kind of like that idea. I should add that. It'd be good to marinate with the cheese, right? And then they would be really super good. Ooh, I got to make a note of that one. I got to try that next time I make this. That sounds so good. You could add anything in, right? Like something that's kind of Mediterranean. You could just figure out what else you want to add and get creative. That's the fun thing about cooking. You can follow a recipe, but you can also just kind of ad lib and do what you want. So thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope you enjoy it. I will put the description of the ingredients and how to make it down in the podcast show notes so that you can easily access it. And again, my website is juliehoagwriter.com, where I have lots of different family-based blog posts. I got podcast on the brain, right? Because I'm doing it. Well, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day. Hey, it's fall. It's going to be chili time, right? Time to make chili. Got to get out that crock pot. I love making chili, and my family loves chili. That's what I need to add to my grocery list. We're due for some chili. Oh, yeah. All right, you have an amazing day. Thanks for listening and enjoy your food. It's a great way to enjoy your life and be healthy. Have a good day. Bye-bye now.